I can't afford to sit here and talk about this all day. So I'm going to come on here and just quickly give my thoughts on the NFL schedule, what the Saints' schedule looks like, and the possible circumstances and scenarios and what that could mean for the team going into 2024. So, taking a look at the schedule, for anybody that doesn't have Twitter or doesn't have uh, a good source of getting information fast, you might not know one game on the schedule. And if that's you, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm pretty sure a large amount of us who do have Twitter and do have resources and do have um, people and notifications and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure we all, or at least most of us, know the schedule, at least the order by now, or have a picture of it. I know I do. Here's the circumstance. Here's the circumstances. Here's the deal. So we only have two Monday night football games. We have one Thursday night football game. We have no Sunday night football games. None. What's up, Goose? What's up, who dat? No Sunday night football games at all. That's kind of expected. I mean, who really wants to sit down and watch Derek Carr and Dennis Allen on Sunday Night Football? Who really wants to sit down and watch that? Not a lot of people. So I understand the NFL for not giving us Sunday Night Football games. This will be the third year in a row. Completely understandable. Sadly, this is probably the longest that the Saints have gone without a Sunday Night Football game since they've started Sunday Night Football, for as long as at least for as long as I can remember. So no Sunday Night Football games, three total primetime games, including two Monday night games and one Thursday night game. A lot of these games, I would say, and it looks like 12 out of 17 on the schedule from what I've seen are noon. They all start at noon. So there you have it. That's the expectations for the New Orleans Saints for a lot of people. An average football team that not many people want to sit down and watch. And yeah, speaking of Dennis Allen, Goose, this is the third year in a row that we don't have a Sunday night football game. Ironically, the third year in a row that Dennis Allen is our head coach. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think the schedule makers took that into consideration when they were making the schedule. That's not an accident. So, with that being said, we're going to deal with the cards that we've been dealt with. We have about 12 noon games this year. Barring any kind of flexing or whatnot, that's about the only way we can get a Sunday night game is if they flex it. We have two late afternoon games, and it doesn't even look like these games are going to be doubleheader games, which means available to the entire public, such as on Fox, America's Game of the Week. CBS has their doubleheader with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. We don't have any of those because we play the Rams at 3:05 and we play the Chargers at 3:05, and the doubleheader games usually start at 3:25. So the Saints will not have any nationally broadcasted games as of right now. So it's looking like the Saints are going to be a generic, typical team around the league that's not very followed or paid attention to much due to low expectations, which completely is understandable. And I don't think we've proven any kind of legitimacy in order to get that respect. So as far as why do we only have three primetime games? Why don't we have Why don't we have America's Game of the Week, or why don't we have a doubleheader on CBS or Fox? Well, I mean, I think the Saints rightfully deserve not to. I'm just being completely real. We deserve not to have those viewers and that respect. We've got to go out there and prove it if we want to get anything flexed. to Sunday night or 4:25 or whatever. So here's the deal with how the schedule looks. It looks like the schedule from what I'm seeing, and I'm going from the top of my head because I don't have a copy of it in front of me, but from the top of my head, we start off playing Carolina at home, at Dallas week 2, Philadelphia at home week 3, week 4 we are at the Falcons, week 5 we are at Kansas City for Monday Night Football, week 6 we're home against the Buccaneers, week 7 we're home against the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Week 8, we are brain fart, at the Chargers on the road. Week 9, we are at Carolina. Week 10, we are home against the Falcons. Week 11, we're home against the Browns. Week 12, we have a bye. Week 13, we are at home against the LA Rams. One of the two 3:05 games, late afternoon games, that is. Week 14, we are at the New York Giants. Week 15, we another brain fart. Crap, I forgot. Week 15, we are home against the Commanders. Week 16, we are at Green Bay for Monday Night Football. And week 17, we are home against the Raiders. And week 18, we are at the Buccaneers. The channel has yet to be determined for that game. Probably going to be on Fox. So, with all that being said, it looks as if 12 out of the 17 games are going to be at noon. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you all 12 that are at noon. You can go look it up yourself. The 5 games that are not at noon, as of right now, like I said, once you get into the season, things can be flexed around and all that other good stuff. We know that. But as of right now, the 5 games that are not at noon include Week 13 at home against the LA Rams, which is a 3:05 game. That potentially could be a game that you would think has the caliber to be a doubleheader. But right now it's 3:05 on Fox, and like I said, you don't get 3:05 games are not the doubleheader games. It's 3:25 that are the doubleheader games. The other 3:05 game is the Los Angeles Chargers on the road, and that's definitely not going to be a doubleheader game. The Chargers suck, or at least they sucked last year. They have essentially nobody on their offense. That game's not going to get any kind of respect or viewers, I promise you that. That's going to be a typical game that you see one of the C-list Fox announcers calling, whether it be Chris Myers or whoever. If you know anything about the NFL and the NFL announcers and the TV, you know that the top ones on CBS are like Jim Nantz. The top ones on Fox are like Kevin Burkhardt. And obviously you got Joe Buck on Monday Night Football and Mike Tirico on Sunday Night Football and Al Michaels on Thursday night. But then you got all these other like announcers that you probably haven't even heard of calling games, like Adam Amin on Fox. Like nobody knows who that is. I know who Chris Myers is because he's been calling games for years on Fox. So watching football for so long, obviously I know who he is. But the Saints are probably going to have a lot of these no-name announcers on Fox and CBS calling our games, which, by the way, we only have one CBS game right now, which is at Carolina Week 9. The rest are either on Fox. You got the 2 Monday Night Football games. You got the Thursday Night Football game, and you got the Tampa Bay game Week 18, which has not been announced on what channel that's going to be on. It's probably going to be Fox. So with that being said, the Saints are not going to have a lot of popular announcers calling their games this year. It appears. Week 2 at Dallas is a Fox game, and it starts at noon. So you'll probably have Kevin Burkhardt calling that game, just for the simple principle that it's Dallas. Like that's about the only reason why Kevin Burkhardt's going to call that game. So we'll probably get that that popularity. We'll probably get that clout with Kevin Burkhardt, the #1 Fox announcer, and Tom Brady's going to be calling it with him. We'll probably get those announcers for that game, but other than that, it's the Saints are probably not going to get a lot of popular announcers that call high-ranked games during the year, calling their games. Yeah, dude, Chris Meyer, he was. If I'm not mistaken, isn't Chris Myers from around here? I could be wrong on that, but I remember him talking on WWL before Saints games. I do remember that as well. Um, so yeah, the point I'm making is the Saints are probably not going to get a lot of announcers that are worth announcing calling our games this year. We'll probably have 2 Joe Bucks because we've got 2 Monday Night Football games. We'll have Al Michaels on Thursday night, but that's about it. So with that being said, if the Saints want to get flexed to Sunday Night Football, they're going to have to earn it. Okay, on to the next thing. The strength of schedule, it says that we are second to last in relation to how tough our schedule is. Let me tell you something. When I look at these first, I'll go ahead and say 7 games, okay? I'll go ahead and say 7 games. And I know I got the freaking break. I'm trying to get that treated, guys. Anyway, enough about my breakouts and my facial issues, whatever. The first 7 games, and you can agree with me, disagree with me, I think is going to say a lot about this team. I think it's going to say a lot about this team. No question about it. You start off at home against Carolina in week 1. The league did you a favor. You start off at home against Carolina week 1 on Fox at 12 o'clock. Then you go on the road and you play Dallas on the road on Fox at 12 o'clock. You get them early. You play at home against Philadelphia week 3 on Fox. You get them early. Week 4, you're at Atlanta on Fox at 12 o'clock. Week 5, Monday Night Football, you're at Kansas City. Week 6, you're home against Tampa Bay at noon on Fox. And Week 7, you're on Thursday Night Football against the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton. Let me tell you what I think the indicator on whether or not the Saints are going to be relevant or if the Saints are going to be absolutely just, you can forget about them. And it's going to be a pretty early indicator, in my opinion. This is my opinion, okay? A lot of you can disagree. A lot of you can whatever. The Saints have got to come out and beat Carolina week 1. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Saints have got to come out and beat Carolina week 1. If the Saints come out and lose to them at home on opening weekend, you might be looking at one of the worst seasons we've seen in a while. And I'm just being completely realistic here, okay? If you lose to the worst team in football from last year, who just lost Brian Burns, literally, how have they gotten better? Aside from their draft class, how have they gotten better? How have they gotten better? Carolina might still be the worst team in football. I don't even think Bryce Young is that good. He's not even that good. I think they got snapped getting him. I think they really fell for it. They fell for a joke there. They look at him, ooh, he's from Alabama, let's get him. And they got snapped. Carolina might still be the worst team in football this year. And you get them to start the year. And if you don't beat them, I'll come on and I'll make a very formal, non-reactive video. But the season's going to be over if you don't beat Carolina week 1. If you disagree, we can argue about it. You're not going to win the argument, but we can argue about it. You have Carolina week 1. That's about the easiest game. Could be the easiest game you're going to get all year long. And I know division games, they're not easy, whatever. BS. BS. That's the worst team in football. You can make the argument, well, it's week 1. Everybody comes out sluggish. Well, if that's the argument that you're making, if we come out sluggish, they're going to come out sluggish, right? It's week 1, is it not? So if we both come out sluggish and we lose to the worst team in football, what does that make us? I mean, it's week 1 for everybody, right? That's not an excuse. They got to come out and beat Carolina week 1, or I think we are in deep trouble. Deep, deep, deep trouble. I mean, dude, look at the first 7 games, okay? Carolina week 1. I think we should win that one, okay? I think we should win that one. I'll say we win that one by 10 points, okay? If we win by 10 points, I'll be happy. I don't want to barely sneak past them. That'll be a bad indicator. But the point of the matter is we need to get more points than them week 1. We need to beat them, okay? We need to beat them. You beat them, I'm anticipating that we're going to start the season in those first 7 games a little bit slow. And whenever I say I think we're going to start a little bit slow in these first 7 games, I could see the Saints falling to 2-5. I could literally see us falling to 2-5 in the first 7 games. But the schedule gets softer as the year goes on. At least towards the tail end of it. When you play the Raiders and Washington and the Giants and all those teams like that later on down the line, it'll get soft. There'll be an opportunity for a little bit of a winning streak down the line. Well, you got Green Bay mixed in with, so I don't know. I might take that back. I might take that back. Okay. I don't know how exactly we have the second easiest schedule in the NFL. I'm not quite sure how we have the second easiest schedule in the NFL. I really don't. I don't know. But I do know that these first 7 games are like, other than Carolina, the Saints can lose any of those games. Literally. At Dallas week 2. They could lose that one. Week 3 versus Philadelphia. They can lose that one. Week 4 at Atlanta. That's a toss-up. Week 5 at Kansas City. We're probably going to lose that one. We'll probably lose that one. There's no we could. We're probably going to lose that one. Like, I'm prepared when that game comes around. I just don't want to get embarrassed. That's my goal for that Kansas City game. Just don't get embarrassed. We're probably going to lose that game. Tampa Bay, we could lose that one. It could be a toss-up, though. But I could see the Saints losing to Tampa Bay. They've lost to Tampa Bay the last 2 years, early in the season, in the Dome. I could see that being a loss. And then you got Denver here. Call me crazy, all right? Call me crazy. You're going against Sean Payton. You're going against Sean Payton. I don't care who's starting at quarterback. You think Sean Payton isn't going to have something on his mind going into that game on Thursday Night Football? Not to mention, regardless of who the Broncos have, we historically suck against the Broncos. Other than that one time in 2020 when they had no quarterback, literally no quarterback because of COVID, where we beat them. Other than that, the Broncos have owned us over the years. I could easily see that being a loss. So, when it's all said and done, my expectation for the season is just like last year, between 7 and 10 wins. Nothing spectacular. So, Jerry, with all due respect, I was just in the Locked On Saints live stream. I'm going to completely disagree with your prediction, buddy. Completely disagree with your prediction. I think fans ought to be a little bit more lenient, okay? And realistic here. I think the Saints will end up with between 7 and 10 wins. They're not going to I don't think they're going to be piss poor to where you're getting a top 5 pick. But I don't think they're going to overshine anyone in the NFL getting into the teens in terms of wins. I don't see that happening at all. Between 7 and 10 wins seems about that sweet spot for the Saints. I think they'll be relevant come week 15, 16, all those late weeks. I think they'll be relevant, and it's a matter of if they can win those games, whether or not they get into the playoffs. Like I said, the first 7 games, you look at the first 7 games, I could easily see us fall on a 2-5. I think we'll beat Carolina. We'll probably lose to the Cowboys. Philadelphia, that's a weird game, dude. Like, a lot of people are going to disagree with me there. The Eagles haven't won here since 2007. I think the Eagles are one of those teams where if there's anybody we're going to beat that's better than us, I think it's going to be them. But let me just put that as a loss just in case. So you're 1-2 there. At the Falcons, that's a toss-up game. I mean, that could go either way. At Kansas City, we're losing that game. So that's 3 losses there. Tampa Bay, that can go either way. And the Broncos, I mean, for all intended purposes, that could go either way. So let's say you lose to Atlanta, you lose to Denver on Thursday night because it's a short week, and you beat Tampa Bay. You're 2-5 at that point. I can see it. 100%, I can see it. So I think it's very important that the Saints come out and beat Carolina to start the year. If we come out and beat Carolina and get off to a slow start and we start 2-5, is the season technically over? As long as the division is not like out of reach, like if the division winner is not that good like last year, then no, I don't think the season will be over. Like if we're within 2 games of the division leader, like if let's say Tampa leads the division at 4-3 and we're 2-5, no, I don't think the season will be over. But if you lose to Carolina to start the game, I mean to start the season, yeah, I think, I mean, all bets are off at that point. Like if you can't beat Carolina, the NFL gifted you, here, Saints, you're going to need the luck. So here's your luck right here. Play Carolina, the worst team in football. I don't even know who they have on their team. You can't beat them, then that's a wrap. And then you go down the line. Let me go ahead and predict the schedule real quick. I'll go ahead and predict the schedule. Why not? And this is before any free agencies, injuries, all that other stuff. So week 1, you got home for Carolina. I'll say we win that game, okay? I'll say we win that game. Week 2 at Dallas, give us the L. Week 3 versus Philadelphia, give us the L. Week 4 at the Falcons, give us the L. Week 5 at Kansas City, give us the L. Week 6 versus Tampa Bay, we'll take the dub there. Week 7 against the Broncos, I'll go ahead and give us the win, okay? I'll go ahead and give us the win just because of the quarterback situation. But then again, at the same time, like I said, I don't think it matters who's at quarterback. The Saints and the Saints historically just don't beat the Broncos, except for the year where they literally had no quarterback due to COVID. I forgot the guy who even started in that game, but they only had 1 completion the whole game. That was a gimme game. Broncos had no shot to win that game. At the Chargers for week 8, I'll give us the win there. The Saints historically have played well against the Chargers. So I'll give us the win there. So we're 4-4 at that point. We're streaking. At Carolina week 9, Give us the win. 5-4, okay? 5-4. Week 10 against the Falcons. Give us the win. 6-4. Week 11 against the Browns. Give us the loss there. 6-5 going into the bye. Week 13 against the LA Rams. Ooh, this one's tough. This one's tough. I'm gonna go ahead and say, give us the loss there. 6-6. Then you go play at the Giants. Give us the win there. 7-6. Commanders come here. Give us the win, even though historically the Saints suck against Washington. Give us the win there. 8-6. At Green Bay, Week 16, lose 8-7 in the snow on Monday night. Give us the loss there. Week 17 against the Raiders. Give us the win. So 9-7 there, and then Week 18, that Tampa Bay game, I think is going to come down to a lot. And you're 9-7, and you already beat Tampa Bay once. I'm going to say we lose that one to go to 9-8. So that's my prediction. Between 7 and 10 wins. Jerry, the Browns made the playoffs without a starting quarterback last year. They went 11-6 and made the playoffs. What are you talking about? We're not better than the Browns. Then they got Nick Chubb coming back. Psh, come on, man. 9-8, dude. I mean, what's so unrealistic about 9-8? And I said between 7 and 10 wins, and there you go. 9 wins on the year. That sounds about accurate. Will that get us into the playoffs? I don't know. Maybe. If it does, I know Dennis Allen's not going nowhere. I mean, shoot, 9-8, 9-7 going into Week 18. I can't remember the last time the Saints were 9-7 going into Week 18 under the 17 game format. They were always like 8-8, 7-9 going into Week 18. So the Saints being 9-7 going into Week 18 would technically be an improvement, right? According to my prediction. But like I said, it's looking like a 7 to 10 win season. So, hey, fly Eagles, fly for life, buddy. Even if the Saints lose to Daniel Jones, my prediction will still be right. 7 to 10 wins is what I said. That's my prediction. 7 to 10 wins. So 9-8 to 8-9, whatever. Potato. That's what I'm saying, Snakebite. The Browns are not bad. And we suck against the Browns. But hey, guys, that's my prediction. That's my thoughts on the schedule. I hope I'm wrong. I want to see the Saints do what Jerry said they're going to do. I would hope that they do that. That would be great. But between 7 and 10 wins sounds like the hot spot there. Okay. At least I got us winning a winning record. At least I got us having a winning record. Shoot. I could have had us being a bottom feeder like a lot of these other people. So there you have it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.